Beeped. Hey guys, how's it going? So we did something, shall we say, out of the ordinary last night?
Shenanigans and everything.
Well, we'll get to the shenanigans later. What was the main focus of last night?
SlipKnot.
We went and saw SlipKnot last night. Just like a ton of other people did. But it's okay.
Our people?
Our people, a lot of our people that we unfortunately did not cross paths with.
Only one.
Except for one, and that was after the show.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to that in a little bit. So my history with SlipKnot, I've seen them, this is the second full show I've seen. First time I saw them was on the All Hope Is Gone tour in 2009. I think it was 2009. And it was my stepson Jeremy's first show. And that was at XL, which has excellent sound, with Coheed and Cambria and Trivium. Second time I saw them was at the first Northern Invasion. They headlined that, but and I went with Jeremy again and a bunch of his friends. But we had not prepared properly and didn't think that, oh yeah, a festival outside in mid-May may get cold when the sun goes down. So I was in jeans and a sleeveless t-shirt, and they were all in like shorts and t-shirts, and we were all freezing. It dropped to like 45 degrees by the time SlipKnot hit the stage. So we watched about 3 songs maybe, and then headed back to our tent, and then decided to leave, and then there was a whole thing about leaving, but anyway. So this is my third time. This is your
first time.
Yeah. And okay, before we get into anything, initial thoughts,
I kind of would have liked to have gotten seats on the next level down, on the first level, not the floor, but the first level. But still pretty good seats and amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the dynamics and all those people on stage, and just the dynamic with the audience, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
happy girl.
Yay.
Very happy.
Okay, we'll do this first. So there was some confusion on when the show actually started, like the actual set times. All we knew was doors were at 6:30. Our friend Derek Schultz, we were messaging him, and he said, "Oh, well, I'm going to be pre-gaming at the depot, and I'll be there around 7." And we're like, "Okay, cool." So we planned to get there around 7, and we were walking up Hennepin towards 7th, and we saw what we thought was Derek going the other way across the street. Turns out it was him, because he got to the depot, but he found it way too crowded, and so he just took off. So we still went there and worked through the crowd and got a table and had a drink there, and then headed over. But in doing that, we misjudged the start time, so we completely missed the first band, which was Wage War. So which we apologize for. And then, because of getting beverages and merch, which we'll go over in a second, we missed most of the second band in this moment. We got to our seats during the second to last song, and then saw the last song, and then yeah. But anyway, it was worth it because we got merch. So of course we had to get the tour shirt, which they had a lot of, and their merch was really, really well organized. I was very impressed with it. They had a lot of people working it. They had a little
line,
the rope thing to get in queue. It was well organized. It was very nice. So I had to get that, and of course it has all the
gotta get that
dates on the back. And so we each got one of those, and then we were walking around and we saw a booth from a company called Blackcraft, who I only knew because my Facebook feed has been inundated with their ads for their like mystery boxes and stuff. So I was like, oh, Blackcraft, I don't know that name. So we headed over and got a couple things there. We got Lucifer.
That's so amazing.
And then we got hoodies, which they were, I don't know what the original price was, but she was like, the woman there was like, oh yeah, we have these hoodies for like $40. And I was like, okay.
You're gonna have to maybe. I'm not so
Yeah, and
good at
so
this. So
you have the black craft called,
badass, and then
which
the
is cool.
sleeves.
The sleeve, I really like the sleeve. The sleeve is really, really cool. Let's see if we can get it kind of.
It's so neat.
Yeah, and that's a good sleeve, and nothing on the back. And all their stuff is really, really high quality.
Soft.
Nice and soft and warm and all that stuff. So next payday, I might have to break down and get one of their mystery boxes. I think. I think.
Yeah.
So. So anyway, so we go up, and of course, in this moment is playing, and we're trying to find our row, which of course they don't make it easy because the row numbers are like down on the side of the freaking seats. So we're going along, and I think was somebody actually sitting
There
in
was
our
people
seats.
in our seats. Yep.
So
in
we
our
just kind of continued up and found these two seats on the end, and we were just kind of standing there, and our new friends, Scott, Jeff, and Tom. Scott kind of leaned over and he's like, you guys looking for seats? And he's like, and we were kind of like, yeah, and some confusion. And he was like, well, these are ours, so if you want to sit down, go ahead.
Yeah, because they had moved over.
Because they had moved over, and I don't know if they just had people that didn't show up or why they had that many seats or whatever. So we're like, okay, cool, thanks, cool. So they became our new friends, which is awesome. Our neighbors for the night. And ironically, it was most of their first time seeing SlipKnot as well. And so I now only got to take in the joy of watching this one in their first experience. Every time I looked over the other way to Scott, he was just beaming. It was awesome. But let's get into some clips. So as I said, we got there almost at the end of In This Moment set. So we were able to capture the last song. So we'll do that right now.
And that I would become nothing at all. So you see, this last song is about rising above other people's expectations and all these fucking ideas of who and what we should be. So if I can have some smile away, turning any of this hate into love, and I am proud to say to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I will be your whore. Woo! We love you so much. We thank you for sharing.
So, from the little bit of In This Moment you heard, opinions?
Pretty good. Like it was, and it was really interesting. This way the stage was set up. It was the only thing I could focus on was the lead singer in her like
on her little
thing.
stairwell thing. Yeah.
And but like really good. Yeah, I wish we'd gotten to see more. That was my fault for not understanding.
Well,
and
you know,
weird Ticketmaster not really putting out the right, like, so you can understand the times. But anyways, very, like, yeah, very good dynamic. I think she was doing a pretty good dynamic with the
audience.
The audience also. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta listen to them some more because I feel like now I need to because it was a good experience.
Yeah, and as you can see, and I apologize for the shakiness of all these videos because it's
and he had me next to him like a maniac,
exactly
jumping around. So, oops.
Yeah, I'm sure you can hear her, and I was screaming too. I mean, I've never screamed.
Everybody was.
I've never screamed that much at a show in my life. It was incredible. But from where we were, I saw, you could see the stairwell thingy where she was at, and then they had a backdrop, and I didn't really see, I saw like one of her guitar players or whatever, but I saw some pictures from the front, and so it was like the podium in the middle, drummer on this side, so everybody was in front, but just from where we were, we couldn't, they were in the dark and we couldn't really see them. So then we had the set change for SlipKnot, and
cool because we could kind of see behind.
Which is very cool.
So it's always fun.
Oh yeah. And then, just more talking to our new neighbors, and then you went and got drink refills and met even more new people.
I did. I met more new friends because I just kind of do that, especially kind of drunk and Satara. She's chatty, so.
And we were both, a couple drinks in by this point, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then me and here's tequila, drink it. I'm gonna drink the tequila. Actually, our waitress at the first place, I asked for a shot of tequila on the side,
and she just said
like,
two?
two, and I'm just like, well,
and you're just like, okay,
you're getting tequila, whether you want it or not, buddy.
Yeah. But as she pointed out, they'd shaken it over ice, I would assume, so it was nice and cold, and it wasn't as
so much better.
Assaulting as tequila normally is.
Have them shake your Patron. Don't just pour it in a little solo cup, half warm. Shake it and put it in a nice glass, nice little shot glass, and that is so good.
Yeah, so good. And we discovered that the Depot might have one of the better margaritas in the city. Really good.
That margarita was not messing around.
No, it was not messing around, but it didn't hit you in the face though.
No,
it was still well balanced, but it did pack a punch.
Yep.
So.
That was good.
If you're a fan of margaritas, either go to the Depot and get one, or, and I don't know if we've mentioned this on camera before, surprisingly, Club Underground has a really good margarita.
They do, they have a really good one.
Because their bartender is a very, very cool gentleman.
Oh, yes.
I forget his name.
I can never remember his name either.
But if you've been to Club Underground, you know who we're talking about.
Exactly who we're talking about.
Because they only have one bartender, as far as I can tell.
And he's just a unique, cool guy.
He is a unique guy. I've had some very interesting discussions with him over the years. Anyway, so then the Mighty Nine come on, and they open strong. For those of you who know their repertoire, they opened with Disaster Piece and went right into Wait and Bleed, which is a killer opening for a show. And then they took the first of their little breaks, which I don't remember them doing as much in last time I saw them. And maybe it's just because they're getting older and they go so hard, and then they just gotta. But it's okay because Corey would come out and talk and ask questions of the audience and engage and all that stuff. And then as a rule, I generally record the third song of whatever band I'm seeing. So their third song after his little spiel was Sulfur. So that's what we will enjoy now.
Is that the sound of the Midwest out there that fucking makes me crazy? Who the fuck let all the crazy motherfuckers in fucking Minnesota into one fucking goddamn building? Two things are gonna happen. One, some of us are gonna go to jail. And two, we're about to fucking make history in this motherfucker tonight! Did you miss SlipKnot in this motherfucker Minnesota? Hell yeah! Well, I'm here to tell you right now, we missed you too. It has been far too fucking long, but goddammit, we are back, and we've got so much fucking good shit for each and every fucking one of you crazy motherfuckers tonight. Fuck yeah! But I need to know right now, are you ready to help me rip the fucking roof off the Tiger Center, motherfucker? That is beautiful. It is music to my ears. It feels just like breathing in stuff.
So, yeah. And then they continued like that for the next hour and a half, give or take. Maybe 2 hours. I don't know.
Not long enough, but
Not long enough. But they did, you know, when they went to the encore, that was cool because they I don't know what they finished with, but then I'm like, okay, they haven't done Spit It Out yet, so they can't be done. And House Lights didn't come on, so they're not done, even though people are already leaving. Which you do not leave until the House Lights come on. That's rule number one. Or until the band just go home.
get out of here.
So they came back out and did Spit It Out with the whole audience jumping thing, which from our vantage point was awesome because literally the entire floor was down and then jumped up, and so that was cool. And then it was like Corey was just like, okay, wait, do you want one more? We were like, yeah. And then they played another one. Wait, do you want one more? And they did that. They did another, what, like 4 songs or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was
3 or 4
very
at
cool.
least,
It was very cool. And I don't remember what they actually ended with. Oh, they ended it with Surfacing off the first album. So, yeah, it was a good mix. They did do the new single, the whatever, Rag. They did do that one.
Yep, that's right.
And they did one off of the last album. And then pretty much everything else was off the first, like, 4 albums, which was fine by me.
Oh, yeah. Not complaining.
Not at all. Not at all.
As they say, I ain't mad.
Exactly. So yeah, anything else about the show itself? Other than the mass awesomeness of it?
The dynamic, just that and the people, like our neighbors, our concert neighbors, and people around us, everybody, you could just tell everybody was there. We wanted to be just happy, completely, totally stoked, and freaking ecstatic. I mean, honestly, and you could tell that the band felt that too. You know, that energy, that, you know, give and take, and just so, you know, people, oh, SlipKnot, you know, ew, yeah, you know, no, you guys are idiots. Like, I mean, and good, like, okay, you think, oh, look at them and judge this and that and whatever, but no, like, good people, and just, you know, and like, you know, Corey's little talk.
Yeah, and
you know, it's like, he's a human, he's a person.
He's a human, he's a person, and,
I mean, an awesomer one than me, I'm sure, but
well, yeah, but, and then,
you know,
as we were talking about earlier, it's like, the fact that this band has been in the professional arena for 23 years. I mean, obviously they formed earlier than that. Corey was doing stuff and whatever, but they have been together in the professional, you know, recorded world as SlipKnot for 23 years, and they're from frickin' Des Moines. Like, that doesn't happen. There's not, outside of, like, you know, Bob Dylan or something. There's not a lot of big bands like that from. I mean, there were a bunch from, like, Detroit and stuff, but from, like, the 5-state area, there's not a lot that get that big, because they are truly international. I mean, they are massive.
Yep.
So just that alone is freaking cool, that we can, as a Midwest person, we can claim them as our own, and that's just cool. And they appreciate that, and you can tell the way Corey talks on stage that he appreciates that just so deeply. That, you know, we're all here, we're all together, you know.
Exactly.
And the only kind of pseudo-political thing they talked about was they were originally supposed to have the band Ginger on the tour with them. But of course they're supporting their country with the whole conflict in the Ukraine. But he did say, like, if they, like, as soon as that is resolved, they would grab Ginger and pull them and do another round and probably come back again to the city. So yeah, look out for that. Hopefully soon. Yeah. So do we want to go into our after show adventures at all, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, things that happen when you're being around me.
And then the evening really began. So our friend Derek, who we were supposed to meet beforehand, we messaged him after, and he's like, "Oh, I'm over at Gluck's, gonna have like 1 or 2." And we're like, "Okay, we'll go over there." So we go over there and walk in, and of course they have a band playing too. who, and the waitress told me the name like twice, and I couldn't hear her, so I couldn't make it out, so I had no idea who they are.
No.
And I apologize, but you guys were good. I liked you guys. So we got there and we're kind of hanging out and had a couple drinks, and then Derek had to go. His wife just got off work and was giving her a ride, so he had to run, which is fine because we got to hang out for a little bit and kind of share our SlipKnot experiences, which is fun. And then we closed out and we were heading outside when
I don't even know how it all happened, but
it was kind of a blur.
We were standing there, and there was another Ryan, and then there was a gentleman who was laying on the ground, like sitting kind of. Was he standing at one point? Maybe, but then he ended up sitting.
I think originally he was standing kind of against that wall.
So a gentleman, Jazz, whom was not going to find his way home by himself.
Yes.
It was like not good. And then so this Ryan guy was like, we got to get him up. We got to move him. The police are going to come and take him, if he's just laying here like this.
Well, and when we kind of entered the situation, because we had taken the bus there, so we were going to get a car back. And I think I had already ordered it and it was on its way in like 10 minutes or 12 minutes or whatever. Yeah. So when we entered the situation, Ryan, being the Good Samaritan, had already pulled Jazz away from the cops.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Because the cops went by and I think were like eyeing him and Ryan pulled him away and saved him essentially.
I didn't see that part.
I didn't see that part, but I think that's what he was saying.
Got it.
And then he was trying to get a phone number out of Jazz, which was not working.
555. That's it.
No,
there was a 7 in there.
No, I mean it was a full number, but then at the end was like 1118. Like there was too many ones.
Too many.
And he tried every combination and couldn't get it. And then we were just trying to keep him upright and kind of alert and with us because he was.
Something happened there, but yeah. So then Ryan's like, well, we'll get him, into the car, and the other Ryan was helping us. Yeah,
and I'm like, we have a car coming. Once we determined where he lived, because we couldn't get a phone number, so other Ryan was like, okay, where do you live, man? He was like, Midtown.
That's it.
And we're like, okay, Midtown, what? And he finally said, Midtown Market. And I'm like, okay, I know where that is. I didn't know they had apartments there, but, So Midtown Market, I'm like, okay, I know where that is. That's kind of on our way. When our car comes, we can take him, and no problem. And we finally got an apartment number out of him. And then, by this time, I think we had roped Beth in, too.
Oh yes, and then there was Beth. She was very nice. She was helping us also. She brought us water for Jazz.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And we were trying to get some water.
Yep, we were trying to hydrate him, which didn't really work all that well.
We got a little in there, but I'd be gentle because I didn't want him to choke or anything. So
no.
So if he took a sip, he got some. Otherwise, I wasn't gonna But
yeah, you're not gonna drown him or anything.
Yeah, not gonna force feed him gummy bears or anything. So somewhere there's a half-eaten bag of gummy bears in downtown Minneapolis. You're welcome.
Yeah, it might be in Gluck's. It might be somewhere else.
In the other Ryan's
pocket. Who knows?
Yeah, we're not sure. We're not sure. But
then so then our car shows up, and driver calls me because he's not sure where we are, or there's like some blocked streets or something, and he can't get to us. So I kind of. If you know where Gluck's is, it's right on 6 and just off Hennepin. So I'm looking towards Hennepin and I can see our car. I'm like, is that you with the hazards on right there? He's like, yeah. It's like, okay. And then we start walking towards him and then he pulls off and pulls around and he's on the other side of whatever the building is across from Target Center. So it's like, okay, so now we gotta get Jazz upright, and we're walking them, and at one point other Ryan grabs him and kind of says to me, okay, we're just going to pick him up and carry him, and I knew that was a bad idea, but I went with it anyway because we our driver's waiting and I don't we gotta go. So we get about 10 steps something like that, and I just kind of go down. And then, you two come up, you and Beth come up, and we get, and eventually we get him to the car. We get him situated. We have to explain to the driver, okay, we're going to Emerson, but first we have to go to Midtown and this guy, oh my God, this guy was so nice and so accommodating and just awesome. I don't remember his name. I'm sure it's on my phone.
Lyft?
That was Lyft.
Lyft. So best Lyft driver ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly,
absolutely.
Very nice. Very nice.
Got him in the car. I mean, he obviously asked, is Jazz okay? And we're like, yeah, he's just fine. We just need to get him home. And sitting in the back, and I had Jazz, very, because he was almost at meltdown point, and almost crying and just like apologizing and was scared and all this stuff.
Poor guy.
We're just like, it's okay. We'll get you home. No worries. So we got to the building, pulled up, and then, he kind of said, that door. So we're like, okay, get him in the door. We have to bust security. And it's like, okay, we have, someone who lives in the apartment, 717.
Whatever, whichever, yeah.
His name is Jazz. And they were like, okay, so they let him in. So it's like, okay, at least they know who he is, I would assume. And then we find the elevator, we get him upstairs, and we find the apartment. And he takes the key out and trying to find the light. So I grab the key, and I'm like, is this the key? And he's like, yeah. And get the door open, get him in, and find the light switch, which is a little bit difficult. And there's a bed right there, and we just kind of lay him down.
Yep.
And I put the keys on the dresser, and we just make sure that he's okay, make sure he's facing down and not, upright.
Yeah.
And we're just like, are you good? We good? And he's like, yeah. So, we
Poor guy.
I felt so bad. And I know you're never going to see this, Jazz, but if you do, I hope you're good and okay.
Yes.
And if the worst thing that happens is that you wake up confused with a hangover.
Yes.
Yeah. So then, the adventure never stops.
And we've got to try to figure out how to get out of this place.
So we get in the elevator, and I'm like, oh, we're going
down.
Ground.
No.
Which I think.
Yeah.
I didn't do first floor, I did G, which I thought was ground, but it was actually probably garage.
Oh, yeah.
So we're down a level lower than we should be.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, garage.
So after wandering around there going, okay, that's not that, and that looks like an office, and that...
Let us out.
We finally get back to first floor, and then still, can't find our way, and we find the security guards, and we ask... Is there a car outside waiting anywhere? Like, oh yeah, just right back there.
No.
And thankfully our driver had waited for us. Because he's the most awesome driver ever. And so we got in the car and we got home and everything was all good, but
it was an adventure.
It was definitely an adventure.
Very much an adventure.
But
Yeah. And that apparently at some point force fed him gummy bears.
Yeah, which neither of us really had a memory of. Like I vaguely kind of had an image of that in my head, and then we got up this morning or this afternoon, really, and she found the top of the
corner of the bag
of the tear off of the thing. She's like, gummy bears.
Oh.
And then I had to say, did you feed me gummy bears at some point last night? And you were like, maybe.
I bought gummy bears when I got our second round of drinks at the show, and the mysterious Mountain Dew that disappeared.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing.
Disappeared.
Right before SlipKnot started, she came back, and I had to use the restroom. So she got back. She bought me Mountain Dew, which was nice. I put it on the floor, and went to go pee. And by the time I came back, literally 2 minutes later, if that,
gone.
I didn't notice it right away, but I went to grab it at some point, and I'm like, oh, it's not. Okay.
Yeah. And I had no idea until this morning, and he's like, did you know what happened in that Mountain Dew? And I'm like, what? No, yeah, I gave it to you. was like, no, apparently it disappeared. And
Yeah.
poof.
Yeah, I mean, our assumption is that it either got kicked under our seats or in front of our seats, but there was no wetness there. I mean, it's not like a puddle or anything. So that was kind of weird, but yeah.
Maybe somebody who was just really very thirsty.
Yeah, I found it.
I mean, you're welcome, because I tasted it on my way down the stairs. So you're very welcome. Or up the stairs.
Up the stairs.
Yes, I had to go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh my goodness. So that was a lot of.
It was just a lot of a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we both had quite a good amount to drink because we, are old and don't usually drink that much anymore.
Yes.
But and then me and here's tequila, drink it, and so Miss Tequila. But very fun.
Oh, very
so
fun.
amazing.
Very fun. And again, for me, I don't know what the last stadium show you saw was.
Oh man, a Tool or Panic at the Disco or Shinedown. It might have been Shinedown.
And that was approximately how many?
Oh, I don't even know. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
And I think if we do the calculations correctly, my last one was Tool in 2010, and that was at Excel. So yeah, it's been a while since I've been to a big arena show, and just the vibe last night and the feeling last night. It's like, yeah, I think I kind of missed this. Like, I've been to, obviously the last 5-6 years, all I've done is like local club shows, which are great, which are awesome, and like the biggest show, are either at First Ave at the Caboose, which in comparison is nothing, because you could fit the entirety of First Ave on the floor of Target Center.
Yeah.
So comparatively, it's nothing, but there is something about that big arena experience and that whole communal thing. That it was just
So
good time, good vibes.
Yeah, and I'm used to the bigger shows, and hadn't done a whole lot. Well, some things here or there, smaller things, but not like he's gotten me more into the local stuff, which is it's such an amazing little like families. There's families. If you go, most people go to this one, and then these people go there, and then but it's just it is so neat, but yeah, there's different dynamics, and then the large this insane amount of people, and if you're ever are filming one of those big bands like that, I always have to take and always catch the audience and go around because it's unbelievable,
It's insane.
and so I always have to.
Yeah.
It's just the dynamic of it, and
this show wasn't even like fully sold out.
no,
And
it
there were
wasn't.
still,
That's why people were moving down into our seats because we had gotten there a little late, and so they're like, oh, our neighbor Scott, he's like, people have been kind of shuffling down and I'm like, oh, that's fine. I understand that then.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why we were just like, cool, we're up a few rows back than we had got, but it's not going to matter.
No.
And we had good neighbors.
Yeah, we had
just
awesome neighbors, and
everybody there was just so, and it was amazing. Another thing, they had a couple little circle pits going down on the floor.
I was just going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
That the pits were not quite as active as I thought they would be. I mean, there was one kind of in the middle that was kind of throughout the SlipKnot entire set, and then another one kind of starting in the front.
Yeah.
But I was expecting whole floor just going. But then it's probably half the audience is our age or older. So it's like
we don't want to break ourselves.
And unless you're like Mosh or Dan, who is in his early 60s, I think.
Well, my friend Heidi, Heidi, she
Yeah.
was down there. I think they were on the floor. So I wonder if she didn't have something. I think she must have had something to do with at least one of those.
At least one of them?
I couldn't see specifically. But and then I know Jamie was down there, but I don't think she moshes right now. She
I would assume
probably
not.
doesn't want to because she might break herself because
Poor
poor Jamie's
she's had a lot of stuff. Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, it was really fun to see. But yeah, I kind of expected a little more kick-assery.
Yeah, a little bit more activity.
But,
and then I did see at least one, if not two, the stage diving, the floating on top of the
I
crowd
didn't
surfing.
really
That's what
notice
it's
that.
called.
Yeah,
I saw at least one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
and maybe 2. That you don't see as much anymore.
Oh man, but that's awesome though.
But yeah, it was still a really, really good time.
I don't think I saw a single person, while getting drinks or anything, or after or before or during the show. I don't think I saw a single asshole.
No.
Almost always there's at least some drunk person, or not even drunk, sometimes just some jerk person. Not a single one.
No.
I've been to Seeger and all sorts of other bands where you would think, they're going to be older crowd, they're going to be nicer people or whatever. No, just jerks and a-holes, and the majority of a-holes there was insane. And then come see SlipKnot, and we're all and
it's all family,
people,
yeah.
Talking to people. I'm going to get in second round of drinks and making a whole new friend. And hey, wait a minute, that friend with my other friend that I know from a whole nother show, and small world. How many thousands of people you got, and you have somebody who's friends with some, and it's like, oh my gosh. But just
and little things like even after when we went to Gluck's after, there was a group of people that had a stack of shirts, so they obviously went to the show. And one of them was wearing a Gargatron shirt. And I'm just like, that is just fucking cool, because that the community is,
yeah.
But
it's so good. The best of both worlds. We got the local, small, nice, and the big.
And the big. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love those big shows like that though. So, I'm gonna be dragging this poor guy.
Yeah, I'll be dragging you to little shows out, and then we'll drag each other to Rockfest.
Yes.
So, I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
How are you gonna do what?
As far as doing a review of Rockfest.
Pieces.
Because that might be like a 4-parter. I might have to do one for every day or something, and then I guess I'll have to pick and choose what. Because if I did a full song from every band every day,
oh Lord,
each video would be 2 hours long. And not that would be a bad thing, but that's a lot to sit through.
Yeah.
This one already is with the music is going to be 45 minutes, but probably longer than that because each clip is 8 minutes or something. But yeah, so that's what we did. That was our adventures this weekend.
We did our old people chores and errands today.
Yeah, now we can run around today and doing the errands and all that stuff. So yeah. So.
Bye-bye.
So as we say, just be cool, don't be a dick, support every single one of your locals. Your Lyft drivers, be nice to your Lyft drivers. If you take Lyft or Uber, be nice to your drivers because they could literally probably save someone's life.
Yes.
In a roundabout way. So definitely. All right. I'll see you later. I don't know if I have anything. Let's see, what's next weekend? Next weekend is the 16th. I don't think we have anything
I'm not
planned for next weekend. We'll probably figure something out. And then the weekend after that is Trent's birthday show.
Yes, the 22nd.
With 22nd with Blood War and Samathwa and Let Me Through Ghosts and Vol Saga.
Oh yeah.
Whatever that band is, I can't pronounce it, but I apologize.
Sorry, guys.
And that's at Minnesota Music Cafe, and that should be awesome.
And I've never been there before.
Oh man, you'll like MSC. It's a fucking cool place. And they're gonna have raffles and auctions and stuff, and it'll be a good time. So that'll be the next one for sure, and then maybe we'll do something next weekend. Who knows? So for now, as I said, just be cool, don't be a dick, support our locals, be nice to your rideshare drivers, and just be a good person. See you later.